Alright guys, welcome to our another Tempest Trials. We actually have two this month. This one is our winter seasonal one. First day, let's talk about what I think overall, some of the seals, and some tips that I do to make the Tempest Trials experience as seamless as possible.
Ice is so slippery. Whoa. Now spin, spin, spin around. Wow, this is amazing. Be careful, you don't want to fall. Even though it's said that she has lived longer than any of us, she still acts just like a child. Dragons live much longer than we do. She is no different. She could live for thousands or even tens of thousands of years. It is said to be a life almost without end. I know another dragon who has lived a long span. To live so long, I'm a little jealous, to be honest. What do you mean, Ephraim? To walk the path of a warrior, to live the life of a king. I can't do both in the time I have. It takes years, no, decades of focused effort to excel at something, but even then, you have just begun. If you could continue to hone your skills for hundreds or thousands of years, you could maybe really achieve something. Throughout history, many kings have sought eternal life, and others have tried to unlock its secrets. I understand what you mean, I think, when I saw the endless shelves of books in the palace library. Even if one was to spend their whole life reading, there'd be no way to read them all. A shame, isn't it? All this means is that we must plan our paths carefully, don't you think? Come on, you three, let's get going. Yes, we must combine our strength to defeat the enemy that awaits us within the Tempest. So, our bonus units today are obviously the brand new banner units, the Tempest Trials unit given for free, and Crom, Robin, Lisa, and Tharja. So the 4 banner units from last year's winter seasonals, they also are returning the same day, so you could pretty much get any of them. They're all pretty good units actually. Like if you have them merged, they're gonna make your Tempest Trials experience pretty easy. The only problem with this is they are literally all armor units, so that's where the difficulty comes in, and I'll kind of give you my little tips on that one. Let's look at the rewards given us this time. So, as usual, we have tons of shards, crystals, coins, feathers, seals, the new unit, and a blessing provided to us, this time being a water blessing. I believe it's 11,000 feathers, 42 orbs, and other cool stuff. The free unit given to us this time is Winner Cecilia, which, by the way, I am so happy for because she's one of my favorite FE6 units, one of the 3, along with Lilina and Roy, so this is totally awesome to me. Plus the unit herself is amazing. There will be another video for that, a unit analysis video. Just make sure you go check it out in the channel if you haven't already, with some tips as to how I'll be utilizing her. So our seals given to us this time are attack speed, fierce stance, and drive res. To start off, attack speed comes as a bit of a shocker, maybe not only to me, but to a lot of people. Attack speed is actually a great seal. It kind of combines 2 really offensive stats that a lot of units can really use well. So if you were using, let's say like Fury Desperation units, they're going to want attack speed too in most cases, because Desperation, you need it for a speed check, and because you're attacking twice, attack +2 means you pretty much get 4 attack, and Desperation with the extra speed will pay off a lot. Sometimes you could use attack 3 if your unit is really speedy, but this is a great seal, used on a lot of offensive units, and honestly, you should upgrade it, so it's a really good seal. I plan to upgrade it myself. The next seal is Fierce Stance. Now this one isn't as maybe as staple as something like attack speed, but Fierce Stance is actually an amazing seal as well. I think it's even a lot better than Darting Stance. Darting Stance, you pretty much give it to somebody who had like a speed tier in the 30s or something to make them double more often, or maybe avoid doubles. It could be used that way. But the thing that I really like about Fierce Stance is combining it with really powerful attack scaling specials. So I mean like Glimmer, Draconic Aura, Dragon Fang, for instance. You combine it with those specials and you give yourself as much value as you can out of the seal slot. It doesn't also require a positional requirement like Attack Defense Bond did, which Attack Defense Bond does give you more stats, but sometimes you just can't have a unit beside you. So Fierce Stance is amazing. 6 attack on an enemy phase is ridiculous for some units, and it's one of the seals you probably should be upgrading as well. Finally, Drive Res. This just kind of completes the drive
group of seals. We already had drive, attack, speed, defense, and now we get res. Honestly, all those were good in a lot of ways. I pretty much used drive, attack, and drive defense almost every week in arena, and plenty of content where you kind of had a supporting dancer or supporting unit. Giving them like drive, attack, or drive defense is one of the first things I did. However, drive res is not going to be as staple as something like drive attack, I would say, or even drive speed maybe, depending on what your team comp is. Drive res will be more of a niche kind of seal, and you're still going to want to upgrade it, but you're going to want to upgrade it to beat like specific matchups in, let's say, like an abyssal mode to clear something. It could be pretty good if you run into some bonus units or bosses that really give you trouble, but it's more specific. I think Fierce Stance and Attack Speed are actually the better seals here. Some notable users of like Fierce Stance, for instance, could be like Ares, Adoltiki, pretty much any Vengeful Fighter QR kind of like units will just totally appreciate Fierce Stance's extra damage given to them. And as I said earlier, attack speed, you give that to like Nino, Brave Bow users, or anyone else like a Blade Mage that's going to be doing that. It's going to really use it well. So seals are really good, and we're getting 3 more in this month by the end of it. So maybe don't spend all your coins right away and kind of wait if you can. Finally, this is more specific to how and I get this a lot through my comments, is like, how do I complete Tempest Trials in 1 day? Well, I just auto battle it for like 2 to 3 hours in the first day and it's usually done. But maybe how do you make it less annoying, especially with stuff like armors? So I've catered my team comp auto battling to accomplish this, and the way I do it is, well, I use plus 10 units plus the bonus unit, and the reason I do that is because I've almost HM capped everything, and if I feel like I ever need to really farm HM or get feathers, I just go get feathers. Like I go auto battle HM farm the rival domains. Like if I'm gonna get feathers, I go get feathers. If I'm gonna do Tempest Trials farming, I do Tempest Trials farming. So my best units that I have, I put them into these auto battles. A quick look at what I have obviously is my plus 10 air. She's really good for this actually. She has healing and mystic boost, she has sparkling boost, and she's summoner supported and ally supported. The ally support doesn't matter, but the summoner support definitely makes a difference. We have good old Xander here. He's running renewal, and he's being bumped up with his res, and you want to give your units as much bulk as possible for this sort of thing. That's why I'm using Seashell on air as well. It helps a lot with not getting totally wrecked by melee units that definitely want to bully her. I have Wendy from a long time ago, and I'm giving her the 2 stats she lacks, which are attack and speed, to make up for that. So distant counter and renewal plus a carrot lance, and finally Cecilia at the end here is the bonus unit. Now actually, between all these units, Cecilia doesn't really fit the team comp, and it's more about what the rest of the units I brought. So sparkling boost, healing your allies, and of course renewal on Xander plus renewal and carrot lance on Wendy. This is kind of like sustaining. You need your units to survive, and that's why I brought them. Now sometimes I would actually have brought Fjorm rather than Wendy, but since Cecilia is a bonus unit, bringing an armor march unit is kind of recommended for me. Like I totally recommend this. You don't want your armor slugging in the back, pretty much doing nothing to contribute to the team. As well, I run guidance on air. Now usually I would run something like IO Shield, but I just take the risk that hopefully I don't run into any archers, and and then hopefully they can take advantage of guidance in that case. Yeah, don't auto battle with animations. That's not a good idea. So yeah, the armors with Armor March, they hang out together. Cecilia pretty much is going to take advantage of stuff like Armor March and Guidance. There's a little bit of HM being farmed, of course, because Cecilia's new and air hasn't been HM capped yet in my case. But again, as I said, if you're farming HM, just do it in rival domains. I make the guides for it in the channel. Go check those out. Now, for those of you that are wondering, what do I farm? What level? It depends on your units and how invested they are. I do Lunatic 5. I could do Lunatic 7 maybe, but it's very random. It totally depends on what spawns. And as you can see, my team comp doesn't have a red unit in it, and it has 2 colorless. So there is a little bit of a weakness there should I run into green units, and sometimes my units can't handle that. Of course, in whether your bonus unit isn't invested at all. Like if you can walk in here with like a +7 winner Tharja rather than like a Cecilia, then you could probably more consistently handle something like the Lunatic 7s. On top of that, and I still see this as a common problem, don't auto battle hard 5. That's the level 30 hard battle. I've done the mathematics on this, and I have a video totally dedicated to it. It's called The Math Behind Tempest Trials. Level 25 Tempest Trials is going to give you more
score per stamina because the level 4 one is 12 stamina and this one is 15. You get more points than you do from this one in auto battling. So if your team comp isn't good, do this one over this one. This is literally a trap. I've done the mathematics behind it. Go check out that video if you don't know what I'm talking about. And if your units are better, then just stick to these two, Lunatic 5 and 7. That's pretty much it for that. So to recap, sustain, mobility, 2 super important things to get this done. You don't need a healer as long as you have some sort of sustain, renewals, and healing weapons in the form of like Mystic Boost or Carrot Lance. Those kind of get things done. That pretty much concludes what I think of this Tempest Trials. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's one of our best we've had in a while, especially the free unit. I'm a big fan of it, not only for being a really useful unit that I'm going to use in Ether raids, but she's just one of my favorites. So yeah, that concludes it. I'm really looking forward to Tempest Trials after this, because can it really be beaten? But along that, we get tons of orbs, feathers, and stones. So I'll be getting my top 1k as soon as I can, and farm as much as I can. So thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you haven't already. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.